You know, I'm not really one to believe in guilty pleasures in the traditional sense of like feeling guilty because you like something that's bad. I think if you like it, something about it must be good. But occasionally I feel a sense of almost moral guilt over liking certain things, and that may be the way to explain my fascination with the super obnoxious lifestyle rapping of the mid-2000s. During the 6-month stint that I spent at an inner city school back when I was in the 9th grade, I managed to hear the song Grillz every single day on the bus, and it was my favorite song that I would hear on the bus. It's a really dumbass song by Nelly featuring Paul Wall and some other guys nobody remembers that's literally just about grills. It's about putting jewels in your mouth so that your teeth shine, and all of the lyrics are about that. The song is basically a commercial for Grillz. And another song I found out about a bit later, I didn't hear it while it was on the radio, it wasn't around for very long apparently, but it was a song called King Kong by Grillz, which is very similarly basically a commercial for speakers. It's a whole song about how great it is to have giant speakers in the back of your car. I found out about it from the Ben Drowned videos, a creepypasta / ARG thing that happened a long time ago, and one part of it uses this song in one of the tie-in videos. I didn't even remember that. I couldn't remember why I knew the song until I looked at the comments on the video itself, and a bunch of them were mentioning it, and I was like, oh, that must be why I know this song. And for the last few years, I've had these two songs on my mind for how much they remind me of one another. That both of them are just these sort of, like, audacious party songs about how cool it is to have nice speakers or grills in your mouth, and they just have such a level of like enthusiasm for the products that they are like trying to shill, essentially. Like the whole song is just basically, look how cool it is to have this thing, not even really analyzing why it's cool or anything, just stating over and over again that this is what you want. Well, I guess in the case of King Kong, actually in both songs, they kind of just reassure you that chicks are into it, like over and over again. Like when the ladies hear it, they'll want to fuck you. So that's why you should have a grill and King Kong speakers in your car. You'll get laid. Chicks are into it. Even though I have strong doubts that any women like grills, they don't seem like a thing that chicks would ever be into at all. Help me out. If any women happen to be watching this channel, let me know if you have any interest in grills, because I find them aesthetically hideous. I think most women probably would too. No, I don't think it has anything to do with me being a white guy. I think it has to do with the fact that they're stupid. And in the first place, they're popularized by Paul Wall, who is himself a white guy. Now, as I was doing research into these two songs, I wanted to find out if these were in fact commercials for something, because these songs are just so overpoweringly commercial. In fact, they're both songs, I think neither one of them has any swearing in them. And in my research, I found that Grillz, his entire album had no swearing. Associated Act Chamillionaire, who is, who raps on King Kong, he also had an album with no swearing on it, and I don't think Nelly had any in his song either. So these feel like they are literally commercials. Like these songs were made to be as easily playable and accessible to as many people as possible. They're only meant to reassure you about how cool these lifestyle elements are. So I really wanted to know, did somebody pay for this? And what I was fascinated by is that these songs all kind of come from the same place. These are all Texas rappers. Nelly and Paul Wall are both from Texas. They had collaborated here. Chamillionaire had worked with Paul Wall, and that's kind of like where he got to start, was through connections with that guy, and obviously Grillz worked with Chamillionaire. Grillz is not from Texas. I don't know if he was based there at the time. There's not much information about Grillz on the internet. He seemingly had one album, one big hit, and disappeared into the ether. No one knows anything about Grillz anymore. So I was watching the music video for Grillz, and there is extensively shown the logo of a store called Dirty Grillz. That's like D-E-R-R-T-Y, Grillz. I couldn't find any information about this being an actual store online. Maybe it was in the mid-2000s, before online stores were like necessarily a big thing, but I did find out through researching Paul Wall that of course he ran a grill store, and like was the one who popularized Grillz in the first place. So this song Grillz is basically trying to get people interested in this product that Paul Wall himself basically created. It's obviously an advertisement that's completely self-serving. In the case of King Kong, there doesn't seem to be any like really obvious thing that's for sale. They mention the McLaren car in the song, which could just be because he thinks it's a cool car. I mean, rappers mention cars by name all the time without having to be paid to do so. There's also a mention of a Chevy, I think, in Chamillionaire's verse. I don't know if either of those paid for it. I mean, the video does extensively utilize the McLaren car and show off some nice sports cars. It didn't seem like it was showing any specific speaker set, though. Like, you would think that would be the main goal of this song, would be to sell a particular set of speakers. But it didn't seem that way from the video, so maybe that's not the case. It's worth mentioning as well that Jibbs' other single, the one that was much bigger, is called Chain Hang Low, which is just a song about how cool it is to have a big chain. So all of his songs are basically rap lifestyle endorsements. It's just him picking out something that he's saying, oh, if you have this, then you got money. Oh, this shows that you're a cool guy. This shows that women are gonna want you. That's the message of all his songs, seemingly. And Chain Hang Low was a much bigger hit, though personally I don't feel like it is, I mean, it's the same kind of song as these two that I'm talking about, but Grillz and King Kong just feel so alike. The fact that they both have features on them, the fact that they both have like a very repetitive hook that plays several times throughout the song, and just their atmosphere is so much alike. They really feel like the same song. But you know, as much as I could criticize these songs for being blatantly commercial, for not necessarily being good songs, both of them have pretty banging beats. They're pretty memorable songs. I understand why at least Grillz was big on the radio at the time, not so much King Kong, even though I think it has an even better beat. Probably not as successful because Jibbs' flow is not that great on this song. Like, he's got multi-tracked vocals in a bunch of places, but the two different tracks are a little too off, and it's like from each other. It sounds bad. It sounds like it was done in one take each. It's some shit I would put out, basically. But I do think that there's a surprising amount of creativity in some of the lyrics of these songs, of like how they had to try to string 3 minutes out about Grillz, you know? And I mean, granted, it's between a bunch of different rappers, but there's some funny lines. Like, I always remembered the one dude saying he's got the purples, got them yellows, got them reds. If a little light hit it, make you woozy in the head. If I could call it a drink, call it a smile on the rocks. I put my money where my mouth is and bought a grill. Here's a line where Paul Wall makes sure you know that grills are even better than the other bullshit you're buying, because he says, I got the wristwear and neckwear that's captivating, but it's what smile that's got the onlookers spectating. So, you know, the smile is even more important than the neck and the wrist stuff, but you gotta have that shit too. Got a bill in my mouth like I'm Hillary Rodham. King Kong doesn't have quite as many hilarious one-liners, but it does actually have a reference to the song Grillz. There's a part where, in reference to a car's grill, Chamillionaire says he's got a grill like Nelly. So these songs are actually even more connected than I first realized. I never like noticed that lyric until I was looking into it just now. So yeah, a couple of not good songs that not many people will remember, certainly not going to be loved by hip-hop heads or anybody, but I just find them kind of ironically hilarious. It's so obvious that these are a bunch of wealthy Texas guys trying to sell expensive lifestyle bullshit to rap fans. They're trying to make you think that you need all this crap in order to live this way. And yes, these are quite wealthy guys. I mean, Paul Wall obviously running the grill shop himself. Chamillionaire is literally a millionaire. He's a big-time investor down in Texas. I don't know much about Jibbs. I think he was trying to get in on this stuff, but who knows what happened to him. And, you know, Nelly obviously was one of the biggest rappers of the time. He is quite rich himself. So, yeah, basically a bunch of rich guys trying to convince you that, you know, you too can be cool and rich just by having these nice things. Yeah, entertaining in an ironic way. And two of my guilty pleasures.
Stopping and jumping when the bass start bumping, so I told her she wasn't talking about nothing and she just frontin'. You can hit me from a block and you already know what's up.